Do we have anybody here tonight under the age of 30? Any 20-somethings? That's still the dumbest group of humans I've ever met in my life. You're not dumb academically, I'll get to that, but you are soft emotionally, I can tell you that. When I was growing up, our parents let us play in the street, climb trees, and blow stuff up.
I don't know how you survived. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Your fellow Gen Z Brit of a curious mind. Today, I'm going to be checking out Brad Upton for the very first time. This is his segment on Millennials are still the stupidest generation. I'm surprised he's not coming for Gen Z in this one. But look, if we're not getting smoke in this one, then I am not going to complain, guys. Of course, if you love how I'm doing this kind of content and checking out these kinds of things, make sure you continue to smash the like button so I know you guys want to see more. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss out on another one of these bangers. Because I know a lot of you guys have watched me before, you haven't subscribed. So what you doing? Make sure you subscribe, guys. And of course, guys, look, I recently checked out Sid and Marty Croft intros. So if you guys want to see that bit, will be on the Patreon. As well as recently, I showed my sister Prince for the very first time, who is also another Gen Zer who doesn't know much about Prince at all. She didn't even know who Prince was. So if you're interested in that, guys, get on the Patreon. And with that being said, guys, look, let's get straight into this video. Let's go!
If you saw my last special, I made fun of millennials. I don't know if you remember that or not. Yeah, it was quite popular. Do we have anybody here tonight under the age of 30? Any 20-somethings? That's still the dumbest group of humans I've ever met in my life.
So it looks like he's lumping like all of us Gen Zers into that as well, maybe some younger millennials. So what is he gonna say, man?
That's still the dumbest group of humans I've ever met in my life. You're not dumb academically, I'll get to that, but you are soft emotionally, I can tell you that. The reason I say that, when I was growing up, our parents let us play in the street, climb trees, and blow stuff up. And you know what happened if you got hurt or maimed? You got a new name. I had two friends I grew up with, Aimer and Niner. When Aimer was 6, he was in the garage with his big brothers blowing stuff up. He lost his right eye. It was closed the rest of his life. He looked like he was aiming a gun. That's how he got the name Aimer.
Right, I was gonna say.
He was the Aimer. Everybody called him Aimer. I did not know his name was not Aimer. Till the first day of 3rd grade, the teacher said, Ross Thomas. We all went, Ross Thomas, who? Aimer, is your name Ross? We started laughing. That sounded funnier to us than Aimer did. And Aimer says to the teacher, no, my name's Aimer. My mom is the only one that calls me Ross. And she goes, well, Aimer, how'd you get that name? He goes, do you imagine now a kid even pretending to point a gun at a teacher? There'd be a lockdown, there'd be a helicopter above the school.
That's facts.
My friend Niner in the 4th grade, there were 4 of us who were all out in the woods together. We were all climbing trees. We were all up about 15 feet, and he fell. And on the way down, he was trying to grab branches, and by the time he hit the ground, he'd lost most of his ring finger. And every time I tell this story, I still picture it. It's 55 years ago, it still makes me laugh. Because he got up and he's dusting himself off. He's going, I'm bleeding somewhere. I'm bleeding.
And it's his hand.
I'm cut. I don't know what.
Do you know what? Some of the stories that I've heard a lot of Gen Xers talk about their childhood is completely, like you said, like I heard you guys are the feral ones, the latchkey generation. You guys had so much freedom. So to kind of hear, like, you know, a little bit of insight into some of the stories that even you guys have told me about, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's what you guys are doing when you're out and about. But it makes sense. It makes sense. And yeah, like obviously nowadays, you know, a lot of those kinds of things won't fly, letting you climb up a tree, everyone's a little bit more cautious. And funny enough, it's the same, a lot of you guys who are parents at that freedom are the same ones that are so strict on your kids now, because maybe there's part of you that realized that, you know, maybe we had too much freedom, and I don't know if I should let my child have that kind of freedom. But food for thought. I wonder if you guys agree or disagree with that.
I'm cut. I don't know what.
That's a funny story.
And my other friend says, look at your hand. And he screamed and he ran home. And we all climbed down and followed him, but none of us thought to look for his finger. About 4 days later, he's back in class. His hand's all heavily bandaged up. We're learning about decimal points for the first time in our life. He raises his hand. He says, I have 9.2 fingers. Called him Niner for the rest of his life.
Wow. That's how he got his name.
When I was
got Aimer and Niner. So Aimer's got the name because he's got good aim, and then Niner because of his finger. Wow, that's actually hilarious. I can't believe it. Just makes me wonder how some of you guys that were born in that generation or that child who had that kind of childhood. I don't know how you survived. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Niner for the rest of his life. When I was a kid, everybody had a nickname. Every single kid. Nobody went by their real name, and it was given to you by your friends, usually about a body part that was not flattering. I had friends who were Paunch, Taterhead, Lips, Chin. Lips had big old Pete Davidson lips.
Okay.
Chin didn't have one. We originally called him Viola because we knew he'd never play one.
Viola. Wow. That is such a rude joke. Oh my, that is ruthless. That is because what? You're only supposed to hold it like that. Yeah. Okay. Let me know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy one.
I had another friend in high school. He had a short right arm. It was fully functional, but it was a short arm on this side, right? So he had a big hand and a little hand. We called him Clock. Everybody called him Clock. The teachers called him Clock. He was Clock. Clock was awesome, too. He was in my second period algebra class, and we were supposed to be in our seats every day at 9 o'clock when the bell rang, but Clock would always wait out in the hall until that bell rang, and he'd burst through the door every morning like this. It was never not funny.
That is hilarious.
Every single day we waited for that moment and laughed for 10 minutes.
That is hilarious. Yeah, and not today, right? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get away with stuff like that today.
We waited for that moment and laughed for 10 minutes.
You get cancelled. You get cancelled for that. Look, I know if you try calling someone Clock, you're getting cancelled. I mean, you'll get cancelled for appropriating someone's pronouns. It's like, you know, I hear what you're saying about if things being a lot more sensitive, especially if people like millennials and especially Gen Zers, because, yeah, we're way more sensitive.
We waited for that moment and laughed for 10 minutes. One day we're sitting in class, the bell rings, and he doesn't come through the door. We're like, oh, well, that's weird. Where's Clock? You know, must be absent. Well, he was tardy. 10 minutes later, he burst through that door like... We laughed until 9:30. And Clock was the best student in class, and he was by far the best student in class. And every Friday we had to race him on problems. The teacher would put problems up on the board. We had to compete against him. We called it Beat the Clock. Nobody could beat him. He had that left hand going like this, and the eraser in his short hand. And like...
That's an
One time in PE class, this is after class, we're in the locker room changing, right? And we had two new kids in class, and they were bullies. And they were bullying Clock. And so Clock's in there, and he goes, I'm going to knock you out with this hand. And then he goes, boom, and knocks him, just spins this kid and knocks him out, just boom, hits the ground. And then he turns the other one and goes, or this one. And when he hit that kid, you know, we all hooted and hollered, and the teacher came running out of his office. What's going on? What's going on? We said, well, these guys were bullying Clock, and he knocked one of them out. Wow. And by then, this kid's kind of getting up, and the teacher just walks over and goes, you just got knocked out by a kid with a half arm. Hope you learn to keep your mouth shut.
Wow. I can't believe that that's what the teacher would have said in that situation. Because, like, you just knock someone out in school. That's serious. Like, if that happened in my school, you're getting expelled, man. And your teacher ain't gonna be making jokes about it. If your teacher made jokes about it, he's probably getting fired or she's getting fired. Do you know what I'm saying? That is wild. Times have changed, man.
Hope you learn to keep your mouth shut. And that was the end of it. Nobody got sent to the office. Nobody got suspended.
Yeah, that's
Nobody's
crazy.
parents got called. Nowadays, Clark
Right.
would have been the one that got suspended for
Right.
throwing that first punch. And then you'd had to bring your parents to get a anger management plan. Well, I got angry and I punched that kid. That's the plan.
Wait, it was him.
Can you imagine now calling kids by their afflictions? Hey, here's my buddies, Blinky and Snort.
Blinky and Snort.
Here's my other friend, Orphan. His parents were anti-vaxxers. Not accurate?
That's crazy. Oh, guys, yo, tell me, man. Tell me that one didn't get a laugh out of you. I'll be shocked if it didn't, man. Look, that's my first time checking out Brad Upton. And you know what? It's from the videos that I have seen, you know, me going back into the past, having a bit more perspective. You know, I kind of say that what he's saying definitely is the case. Obviously, times have changed now, and there's a lot more kind of systems in place for those kinds of things. But from what I'm aware, you know, if you was messing around, you know, with the wrong one, you know, if you're effing around too much, then, you know, you could get in a swift bang to the jaw was an appropriate remedy for a lot of you guys back in the day. And it seems like everybody was on the same page with that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's always interesting to kind of see how much things are different, which makes sense. And it also makes me wonder, you know, if there are people watching this, I mean, automatically, if you were watching this, you would have survived that period. So if you did survive, then what were your battle scars then? That means you must be a real one to not be messed with, because you got through all of that, right? I'm assuming. But yeah, guys, look, let me know what parts you found especially fun in the comments below, as well as comment down a blue heart so I know who my rules are, who made it to this point without just skipping off the video as soon as it ended. I love all you guys that be watching me and supporting the video. Like the video before you head on out. And again, look, I've got a playlist of all of these kinds of throwbacks, these comedian reactions that I've done. In the comments, it'll be links at the end of the video. So if you guys want to check that out and get more from me, then wait till the end and you'll see it. But of course, guys, with that being said, I'm the boy JayFlex. This has been me, my first time checking out Brad Upton. And for those of you guys who made this point, you guys have been absolutely wonderful. And I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.